What if the reason you feel endlessly drained, stuck, and overwhelmed is because stress has been running your life? You wake up already behind. Your mind is racing. Your body's exhausted. And no matter how much you push through, it never feels like enough. I get it. I used to live that exact life. And sometimes life feels impossible. But what if there's a simple way to turn that stress into a source of unstoppable energy, clarity, and power? In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to share the exact system that transformed my life and can transform yours as well. Today, you'll learn how to break free from burnout, reclaim your energy, and finally create a life where stress fuels success rather than drains you. There was a time when I thought I had it all figured out. I thought I had made it. I was running businesses, making 6 figures a year, and from the outside, things looked great. But behind the scenes, I was drowning. I was buried in nearly $1 million of debt and on the verge of bankruptcy and foreclosure at just 27 years old. I remember sitting in my car outside of my accountant's office, staring at a future that felt impossible. I drove home to find out that my utilities had been shut off at my house. My world was absolutely collapsing. I was hustling myself into the ground, working insane hours, trying every single self-improvement technique I could, meditating and getting sober as well. And yet I was still stuck in stress, burnout, and depletion. You see, my expenses always exceeded my income, and my business had somehow turned into a monster I had created, and instead of working for me, it enslaved me. Then I hit rock bottom. I had to go backwards to move forwards. I sold everything: stocks, crypto, rental properties, furniture, anything worth anything. I even sold my fancy new truck, and I bought a 1998 Subaru Legacy for $1,200. I went from being a business owner to an underpaid employee making less than the lowest paid person I had once hired. I was depressed, angry, exhausted, and depleted, and defeated. And that's when I realized I had this epiphany that success without energy is impossible. I realized that I wasn't failing because I was lazy. I wasn't failing because I lacked discipline. I was failing because I was trying to force outcomes from a place of trying to prove myself instead of aligning with what truly mattered to me. You see, I was constantly spreading myself thin in pursuit of external validation. I needed a proven system, a way to shift my energy from the inside out to help me align with what I needed. That's when I developed Rise and Align. Once I applied it, everything changed. My stress turned into fuel. I built consistent, sustainable momentum. Opportunities began flowing, and I gradually rebuilt my life with purpose and clarity. See, here's the truth. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. Okay, they fail because they're trapped inside a system that drains them. Okay, you've been taught that stress is normal, that you just need to be more disciplined or more spiritual or do more meditation, or that you're somehow broken, but you're not. We were never taught how to master our energy, cultivate true vitality, or convert stress into strength. Because the way you've been conditioned to handle stress is completely backwards. To make matters worse, some of us grew up in environments where stress, chaos, and struggle were the norm. Okay, where our families were so caught up in their own struggles that they passed those patterns down to us. We inherited beliefs, conditioning, and ways of being that were never ours to begin with. You see, that's the real enemy, not just the systems outside of you, but the internal systems that were programmed into you. The version of you that doubts yourself, holds yourself back, keeps you playing small, makes you feel like you don't deserve greatness, or keeps recreating the same cycles even when you know better. Because here's the hardest truth. We are our own greatest enemy. Not because we're broken, not because we're weak, not because we're lazy, but because we've been conditioned to project our enslavement onto everything but ourselves. We blame the economy, the job, the administration, the people who failed us. And while all of that may be true, none of it has the power to define our future unless we allow it to. That's why this work matters. Because the moment you decide to take full ownership of your energy, your focus, and your ability to create, you stop playing small, you stop living on autopilot, and you finally start operating at the level you were always meant to. That's why real power doesn't come from playing by their rules. Real power comes from building something unshakable within yourself, from owning your energy, your power, your focus, and your ability to create. Because the moment you do that, you stop being controlled, you stop being manipulated, and you start operating in a way that they never wanted you to. You see, most people allow stress to stand between them and their success. They ask for more money or more impact or, whatever, more of whatever. And then all of a sudden things get challenging and they revert back to old ways of being because of stress. And I know that game really well, and it always ends in the same exact loop. Okay, imagine waking up every single day, excited, jumping out of bed, smiling, eager for Monday, well-rested, bursting with energy, and overflowing with radiance. Picture yourself operating at peak performance, confidently pursuing your dreams without having to worry. That's possible, and it might not even be that far for you. I went from drowning in debt, struggle, and chaos to creating a system that empowers me. And now I'm here to share that same exact system with you. If I can rebuild my life, so can you. I remember what it's like to feel like gratitude's completely out of reach. I understand the depths of despair where gratitude feels like a completely unattainable foreign concept, and life becomes a relentless burden. In my darkest moments, I was overwhelmed by fear and depression, and I felt trapped by the very things that I had created. And no amount of forced positivity was going to change my situation. I needed something deeper, something real to pull me out of that darkness. In an attempt to regain control, I devised a massive life shift. I became sober. I built an extensive 3-hour morning routine. And while it provided structure, it was unsustainable amongst life's demands. And eventually it became more of a burden than a boost. I needed a practical solution to realign my life and restore my vitality. That's why I created Rise. It wasn't about pretending to be grateful when I wasn't, or shouting affirmations into some void, hoping that the words alone would change my situation. It was about finding a way to shift my energy from the inside out. Because I knew that when you change your energy, you change your life. And Rise and Align allowed me to build resilience, strength, and even clarity in my hardest moments. And it taught me how to transmute stress into my greatest ally. You see, Rise isn't just a practice. It's a process of transformation, a way to take control of your life starting exactly where you are right now. Here's how it works. Rise is an acronym, okay? The R stands for realign, like return to your true north, okay? When you have diluted focus, you get diluted results. And when you have diluted results, every actionable item consumes more resources than you actually have access to. So that's why this is such an important part of the process. Discover what truly matters. Okay, the I stands for inspire. This is where we want to fill our cup and do things that feel good, that you enjoy, that just light your inner fire and make you feel good about yourself and your life. Okay, that's the inspiration step. Then we have S, simplify. This is a really important one. This is actually where most people mess up, okay? This is where you clear the path, remove the noise, and focus on what moves the needle. The reason why this is where most people mess up is because they do things like build a 3-hour morning routine and they overcomplicate everything. The simplification process is super important because it makes sure that all of your actions are in alignment with your true north. Okay. And then that brings us to the empower step. Okay. The E in rise stands for empower. This is where we automate success by taking action. Okay. Motivation is inconsistent. Systems create consistency. And the only way to empower yourself to be more confident is to take action. So continue taking action and learning from what happens. And so anyway, now that you understand rise, let's take it a step further. Okay, I want to give you a full morning structure, one that ensures you start every day feeling calm, powerful, and fully in control. Okay, so let me tell you something. I used to have absolutely no structure whatsoever. I used to roll out of bed and smoke an entire gram of hash first thing in the morning. Okay, I had no foundation, no direction, no energy. My nervous system was all over the place, and my days felt like a mess before they even started. Okay, then I got sober and I swung hard in the other direction. I built a 3-hour morning routine, breath work, journaling, ice baths, elaborate movement practice. I mean, it was incredible, but it wasn't sustainable. It wasn't practical for every day, and eventually it became more of a burden than a boost. And that's when I realized I needed something simple, powerful, and effective. That's why I created the Align morning routine. This is your blueprint for a stress-free, high-energy morning, and it ensures that you start every day with feeling powerful, calm, and fully in control. And the best part, it takes as little as 5 minutes. It's also an acronym. So the A stands for action. This is exercise, movement, but really the point here is to just take one small step that builds momentum. Okay, so although I typically like to reserve slight exercise for this part of my morning, sometimes it can be just like sending that one email that's like been stressing you out for a long time, right? It's very flexible. And so the L in Align stands for love. This can be thought of as prayer, okay? This is where you speak to God and ask for like a higher power. You acknowledge the higher power, that it is higher than you. You ask it to work on your behalf. Ask it to work for you. Ask it for guidance. Ask it to do things for you. And then the other part of L, right? Love and prayer and guidance is listening. This is actually the most important part of love, is learn how to listen to what God is calling you to, and learn how to listen, right? Like ask, don't be afraid to ask, don't be ashamed to ask, but also learn how to listen. This is also a good time to like do a ritual or an offering, say a prayer, burn sage, like whatever you feel like you need to do to align yourself with spirit and like have spirit like actually being channeled through you. Okay. I stands for intention. This can be thought of as affirmation or visualization. Okay. This is in this step, you want to see yourself in perfect execution instead of focusing on like results or outcomes, right? Like, just focus on the inputs, focus on the actionable items and the small habits that make success inevitable. So for example, instead of envisioning like $1 million being deposited into your account, see yourself in perfect execution on YouTube videos, right? Or on Instagram lives, or on sales calls, or in laying tile, or framing a house, or doing plumbing. Whatever you do, like visualize excellence, like mentally rehearse it. And that's really what affirmation is. It's not, like I said earlier, like shouting words into a void. It's like mentally rehearsing like what exception looks and feels like. And then that brings me to the G in Align, which is grounding into reality. So like in the previous step, we're 2 steps, we're building a lot of esoteric energy. We're cultivating energy in our morning routine, and we're cultivating intellectual energy by mentally rehearsing. And now we want to like ground that into our field. We want to embody that energy by literally like grounding, by like fully embracing that the energy of perfect execution. Right? Because we were just mentally rehearsing that, the actionable items. And now we're going to like bring all that like potential energy into our being. So now all that potential energy can be used in action. And that way you're not just thinking about change, you're actually living it. The N in Align is for nourish. Feed your body, fuel up, give it what it needs to operate at its absolute best, peak performance, right? See, although there's structure to this morning routine, I really want this to be your practice. You can spend as much or as little time on each step as you want, right? The point here is just to align yourself with what you need to have a high impact in ways that will eliminate stress. And the point here is to use your morning to give yourself what you need to fill your cup. Okay, this routine is yours. It's not about rigid rules. It's about building a foundation that works for you. And in 5 minutes, you can be in perfect harmony with perfect execution. And when you get all of these things working for you, you start every morning with aligned energy, unstoppable momentum, and unbreakable vitality. That's how you transmute stress into strength. You realign your relationship to the obstacles in your life, and then you use those to build upon. And that's exactly why this system works. It's not about adding more to your plate. It's about removing what's draining you and replacing that with simple, high impact actions that fit into your life. So the system doesn't take time, it actually creates time. And that's why it's so effective, because when your energy is optimized, you get more done in less time. If you've tried meditating, tried breath work, tried mindset shifts, but nothing really worked and it just feels like nothing, it's not because you're the problem. Okay, it's not because you did anything wrong. It's just because the approach was incomplete. The Rise and Align is a structured process for integrating transformation in a practical way that serves you. Okay, so like, could you figure this out on your own? Absolutely. I mean, I did, but it took me years of trial and error and just like wasting a painful amount of money and time and resources in the process. I lost $200,000 in one real estate transaction because I was trying to operate on willpower alone. And that mistake didn't just like cost me financially. It kept me stuck way longer than I needed to be. And I spent 7 years recovering from that one mistake. But here's the thing, you don't have to make the same mistakes. Okay? Every time I watched a friend lose money or, make reckless decisions or hit rock bottom, it always came down to the same thing: stress. Stress clouds your judgment. It leads to burnout, bad choices, and self-sabotage. And if you don't have the right system in place, it's only a matter of time before it costs you more, whether it's your health, relationships, or financial future. Here's what stress is actually costing you, right? Stress is actually killing you faster than toxins like glyphosate. We all know that our entire environment is loaded with toxins like glyphosate and phthalates. The list goes on with how many environmental toxins there are. But the real reason you feel drained, depleted, and stuck isn't your diet or your sleep or because of these toxins. It's actually a deeper biological trap that most people never escape. Like, for years, we've been told that stress is just a part of life, right? But chronic stress is actually the number one silent killer. Okay, it's disrupting your nervous system, it's hijacking your hormones and keeping you trapped. Okay, most people don't realize how much stress is keeping them stuck mentally, physically, and financially. And it's not just a mental game. Chronic stress rewires your brain and your body to keep you stuck in survival mode and making it nearly impossible to break free. And when you're constantly stressed, your body is running on high alert. And when your nervous system is always on high alert, it's stuck in fight or flight mode and it perceives everything in your environment as a threat. Your bills, your inbox, even simple decisions. Like, instead of thriving, all of your energy is spent on just making it through the day. And when your brain believes, and when it actually believes that you're stuck in survival mode, it shuts down creativity. It shuts down long-term like visioning and problem solving and your ability to grow. And that's why you can't make money or move forward. It's not because you aren't capable. It's because your nervous system literally won't allow you to. Instead of creating and growing, you're only focused on surviving. So stress shuts down the prefrontal cortex, the front part of your brain. And this part of your brain is responsible for, problem solving and creativity and like critical thinking, right? So now your body is running on autopilot and reacting to everything as a threat, which leaves you exhausted, reactive, and just like unable to think clearly whatsoever. So this is why, when people are under stress, right, you'll find yourself snapping at others and like struggling to make simple decisions. It's because your brain has been conditioned to expect danger, so everything is treated like it's a crisis. And that means that you never get a chance to fully reset or operate at your highest level. And like over time, like prolonged stress floods your body and blood with cortisol, which is extremely toxic to the hypothalamus, which is a part of your brain. Okay, the hypothalamus controls your entire endocrine system, and when the hypothalamus is damaged, it doesn't communicate with the endocrine system efficiently, and that's what throws your hormones out of balance. This leads to burnout, brain fog, premature aging. Studies show that stress, actually, specifically cortisol, is more toxic to your nervous system than environmental toxins like glyphosate, meaning that stress is literally accelerating your aging and breaking down your body faster than anything else you deal with. Stress is stealing your energy and making life harder than it has to be. Chronic stress keeps your body from fully recovering and stress is stealing your energy and making life harder than it has to be. Chronic stress keeps your body from fully recovering, so you have to reset your system at the source. This is why stress relief isn't a luxury, it's survival. And the worst part is that most people never break free from this cycle because they don't realize that it's happening to them. They think stress is just like something they have to live with. But once you understand how to break this pattern, everything changes. You were never taught how to rewire your stress response. And the real question isn't, how do I manage stress? It's actually, okay. You were never taught how to rewire your stress response. In fact, the real question isn't how do I manage stress, but it's how do I reset my nervous system so that stress fuels me instead of drains me? That's what Unbreakable Vitality is all about. It's about taking your power and energy back. Okay, so how do you escape this stress cycle and take back control? It all comes back to the RISE framework. Okay, realign, inspire, simplify, and empower. You take those 4 core shifts and apply them to any area of your life. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do in Unbreakable Vitality. See, I used to believe that stress relief was about trying harder, meditating more, reading more self-help books, doing breath work. But the truth is that stress isn't just about what you do. It's about how you condition yourself over time. And that type of conditioning requires guidance. Remember this, knowledge isn't power on its own. Only applied knowledge is power. Without the skills or confidence to use what you know, even the best advice remains useless. When you have a system that not only teaches you, but also gives you practical tools to transform knowledge into action, that's when real change happens. If you win the morning in a calculated, precise way that sets you up to win the rest of your day, you conquer stress and master your life. And what happens when you master your life? You step into Unbreakable Vitality, where stress no longer controls you, your energy becomes unshakable, and you finally have the focus, power, and clarity to create the life you truly want. Power comes from consistent action. And the truth is, there are countless tools out there to help you optimize your life. But without a system to apply them efficiently, they just become another source of overwhelm. That's exactly why I built this system, to help you tap into your power effortlessly so you can stay connected, energized, and in control without sacrificing your most valuable resource, time. The tools are already within you. Now it's time to put them into action. Sign up for my new course, Unbreakable Vitality, now. Let's build unstoppable momentum together. Imagine a life where stress doesn't drain you, but drives your success. Here's what you'll get inside Unbreakable Vitality. You'll get the core training modules. This is where you learn how to master your stress, energy, and high performance. Then you'll get the Zodiac Stress Audit. This thing is great. It's a life analysis to pinpoint the areas of your life that are causing the most stress. Then you'll get the Energy Mastery Toolkit. This is where you'll learn ancient energy cultivation techniques. Then you'll get bi-weekly Q&A calls, private group coaching, and feedback. Plus, if you sign up for Unbreakable Vitality, you'll get the full line of Aligned Energetics Spagyrics tinctures. I mean, the total value of this is well over $10,000, but for you, it's only going to cost $1,000 today. And if you sign up within the next 10 days, you'll get my 30-day stress to strength reset totally free. Okay? This is your moment. You already know what happens if you don't take action. More stress, more exhaustion, more of the same. This is your chance to break free, okay? Go to the link below to claim your spot now. There's only 10 spots. Okay, this isn't just a course. It's a complete transformation system that gives you the skills, structure, and support to turn stress into fuel for success. If you're ready to reclaim your energy and live a life where you're in full control, click the link now to secure your spot in Unbreakable Vitality. Your future self will thank you. You can try to figure this out on your own like I did, okay? But it cost me 7 years and $350,000 of my own money in losses. Or you can just plug into a system that works. It already works, it's proven and tried and true. Because when you learn how to do more with less, you'll be able to do less and get more. You don't have to keep spinning your wheels and going nowhere. You don't have to keep living at 50% of your potential while putting out 110% effort. You're one decision away from living a life where stress fuels you instead of breaking you, where energy isn't something that you struggle to maintain. It's something that you generate effortlessly. The choice is yours. If you're ready to step into Unbreakable Vitality, I'm here to show you how. Click the link, sign up now, and let's build unstoppable momentum together. Thank you. And go, onto all my channels, Align IG. It's actually align.ig on Instagram, TikTok, and align.ig.123 on YouTube. Follow me there. Go to my website, alignwithiangibbs.com. In the shop, you'll find a ton of free resources. My Rise and Align framework, or the Rise Momentum Builder, is completely free in the shop. You can download the whole guide in there, along with the Align morning routine. The 30-day Stress to Strength Challenge Reset is $30, and that includes the Zodiac Stress Audit. But if you sign up for Unbreakable Vitality within the next 10 days, it's going to be totally free. But go check it out, because all the aligned energetics, my medicinal tinctures, are in the shop too. There's just all kinds of resources for stress relief. If you're not interested in the course, there's a lot of free materials. So please go check that out and just follow, like, subscribe, comment, share, whatever you do. Like, support me. I'm, just trying to build a business and create some wonderful offerings that can really do something for people that help. So click the like, click the subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.